Hey buddies, welcome to Video Games Awesome Live. This is a one of them casual ass streams where I'm gonna be just tinkering around and you can watch. And I have some people in there who might actually be able to help me out too. Dreams has intrigued me since it came out and I want to learn more about it. I feel like I could appreciate creations more if I knew how to make things in it. And who knows, maybe I can make some stuff that's kind of fun too. Like actually make some things that are worth looking at or playing, or maybe, I don't know. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. I'm just gonna be looking around, probably mostly surfing again, because if there's one thing that I know about myself as a creative when I do creative things, I'm not a learner, I'm a tinkerer. I never read manuals, I just go into shit and I start poking around and seeing if I can prod and poke things and make things work. See something that somebody else does and see if I can make it work and like start investigating as to what, like I would rather dissect dreams than go through instructions step by step how to make them or something like that. Frico's got something to look at before I start. You've got a proper Tony Hawk thing now. Hugo, you make this really hard to sit in. You know what? I'm gonna give you your own whole couch. I'm gonna go over to Becky's side. There you go, pal. I hope you're not insulted about that. No offense. Isn't that comfy over there by yourself? There you go, bud. What's up, buddy? His ears are back, so that does mean he's annoyed. What a guy. What a baby. All right. So where's your stuff there, Frico? How do I find it? How do I do things in this game again? Dream surfing. Search. I guess I search for Frico. Frico Rama, and then I go into creations. Skate game is what you call it. The Rest of Us engine. Skate game prototype rooftops. Whoa, look at your cool dude, the cool guy who you got. Is this what you look like, Frico? So you're still, whoa, you put some real roundness on this guy's ass. So I still don't know how to play Tony Hawk, so you're gonna have to L1 and R1 to get on and off the board. Why does everybody run so derpy in Dreams? I did a kickflip. Press up then down when skating to manual. I don't even know what a manual is. Isn't that the guy who made Hamilton the musical? Oh, I'm... And triangle to grind a rail. Okay, boomer. There we go. I don't want to die. Shit. Hugo, annoyed face. So I've got a new setup today. It looks pretty solid there, Frico. I'm sorry I can't really appreciate it like somebody who actually played. I've still got the same setup. as our VR show, which you might not be able to tell, but I've got it now so that I can walk anywhere I want and not get cut off. And if I'm gonna tinker around with dreams, this might actually be the preferable way for me to play. I actually like kind of sitting like this when I'm alone. Like when I'm tinkering around with stuff or like playing Overwatch, I'll often stand, or sometimes I'll sit on the edge like this. So it's kind of just a more casual, do it, move about where I want type of setup, which I like. And I can also go like this and whatever the fuck. Well, today I'm gonna move on from the Freako show. I'm sure you've updated the shit out of it, but I'm gonna wait until you've updated even more the shit out of it. I want to just show, I'm gonna show you guys some of the stuff, I guess, my thumbed up shit. Oh, I have to get rid of the, yeah, I was just poking around by myself. Did I not thumbs up more things? I thought I did. My thumbed up date. By thumbed up date. I could have sworn I thumbed up more things when I was, maybe it was the creators I was thumbsing up when I was looking around by myself. Because it was, I thought it was more than that. Mainly I was just looking here, I'll just go and show you what I was doing though. I guess the way dreams works is that if you go into dream shaping and you say, I want to create something, so from within here, you can also browse creations. So you can go to dream surfing and browse creations, or you can go to dream shaping and browse creations. The only difference is, I think that when you're browsing creations within dream shaping, they're only going to show you things that can be remixed or used in your own creations. Would that be correct in the difference between the surfing versus shaping search? Minute says, I wish I could, oh, that's great, Creative Cloud. Fucking piece of shit. All right. You can find anything in browse all. But if I'm in, like I went into this menu, the dream shaping, stuff that can't be remixed would never show up in here, right? Because why would it? If I'm in dream shaping, this shouldn't show me things I can't use. I'm gonna assume that's true. Yes, it does. Okay, so that makes sense. So as long as you're in here and you're searching, you're only finding things that you can play. So if I type in like, I was typing in stuff like just to see like the assets available that people have been making. Look at this little thing here. Look at this. It's just a cardboard tree for use in anything. And you could like, people already made, like, this Dreams is insanely cool. And I think that it hasn't been fully appreciated yet. I don't think I don't know why creative people haven't been grabbing onto it. I know some of you guys have, but like when I look around and I look at the rate at which stuff is being created, when I go to sort by date or time or whatever, it seems like it's not very fast. Like it's like, you know, a trickle of content. There's tons here because people are doing a lot of work, but at the same time, it feels like it's not being fully embraced by... I know there's so many people out there who like to make this type of shit. And there's so many art streams. Like, is Dreams very popular on Twitch? Do people stream it often? Like, because I know that art streams are a pretty popular thing on Twitch. That happens all the time, right? I'm a little too far out when I sit like this. I wonder. So this is a casual dream stream, and it's also me experimenting with how it feels to be on the show like this with this setup. If I move Becky right to the edge where she has no leeway for falling off, then it's a little bit better. I can like sit and lean back. Yeah, that's better. You have to put it right to the edge though. do stream. Yeah, Media Molecule obviously streams. But like, you know, I know there's art streams where people are just doodling and stuff. But wanna run away from Christmas tree is what this is called. Someone could make a game from this, I'm sure. I love that people make stuff and they just drop it and they just set it down and they're like, hey, maybe somebody wants to make a game out of this little thing I made. Maybe you could make this into a level. And that's so cool. I can't move around it. Oh, I can move around. Oh, you can actually. I didn't think it was playable. And there you have it. It is playable. Oh, wait. It closed, but I can go in. All right. That's cute. But yeah, you say, like, I put in tree, and then I think I can sort by sorting and filtering, sort by newest. So let's see what, like, how many trees have been made in the last little while? Just out of curiosity. Somebody made a bunch of trees here. So how do I find out when this was published? It doesn't give a date when it was published, but if you go to the left, to the right, you can see people who've written comments, and those have dates, but nobody's written a comment on this guy's trees, so I don't know when these were made. So yeah, people are just like making, this is like, it seems trivial, but like this is a huge time saver if somebody just wants to throw a bunch of trees into their level and not spend like, you know, the 10 to 15 minutes it would take to make a new tree. And that just expedites and just like gives a flow to creativity. Randomly generated trees? How does that work? That sounds horrible. Was that as loud for you guys as it was for me? Still a problem in Dreams. I don't think that's randomly generated. Can you create randomly generated stuff in Dreams? Is there procedural generation? Is that even possible? So they're lying. A little bit? You can do procedural generation? How would you do something like that? Jesus Christ. Oh, I guess maybe the audio is okay for you guys. I might just turn down mine to make it better then. For me. There we go. Oh, I was playing a game apparently. I just want assets, not games. There's a tree. What the hell? City streets. Oh no, it's another game to play. But I thought if it's a circle, it's not a game. I thought a game is in, or like an actual playable experience is always in like a square. Or like a 16 by 9 square. I don't want to play games today. I just want to poke around creations or assets and stuff. Alien tree. Yeah, so like 3 days ago, the 5th or 6th tree on the list of trees that have been created was created 3 days ago. Circles are scenes, okay. So hexagons are parts, are assets. Circles are scenes. And I guess another question I have is, somebody could like make a tree in a scene, and then they could publish the scene as remixable, but not the tree itself. But in order for you to use the tree, you can just grab the scene, remix the scene, and then save the asset from within the scene for yourself. Trees in autumn style, this says. That's really good. Some of the stuff that I thought was even more impressive or interesting, though, was when I was looking through characters. Dreamers. Yeah, this stuff I saved here. Look at this. These are female templates, and they're just blank canvases for you to start on, and that's like really well sculpted. How do I'm supposed to be able to, I don't know how to. Like, that's a pretty good running animation. It's a little janky. A lot of the running animations I've seen are not quite natural looking. But I like how the upper body moves separately from the rest of it. Does not as stiff a character as some look. And you can tweak the animation, yeah. So you can, like, I know that, like, Media Molecule has these things where you, here, let's see here. You can tweak it, right? You select it, and then you tweak selected, and then in here you decide how body structure. These are the bones. I don't even target which object will be the pelvis. Press X to activate, and then select again to select it. And then you touch the pelvis. It's not letting me touch these things. I don't know why, but I guess it was already rigged, so I don't have to worry. Left toes. It does seem hard, doesn't it? But, okay, so here, arm vigor. Control how much the arms pump up and down while walking. So all this stuff is well and good, but what if you make a monster who has many arms? Can you define anything as an arm, or like you can make your own animation, right? You can make something that like goes completely different to a different type of creature, like non-humanoid. And I wish that it looks like my likes aren't appearing right, because I liked a bunch of stuff that I wanted to like kind of show that I thought was really great, but this is another one. What's this? Pumpkin Man. What is this? He doesn't turn his back on people after his last accident. His eyes randomly blink the left and right. Neat style. It is a cool design. Who is this guy? And I love just deep diving, like going, oh my god, look at this! What? What? Oh shit. There's an invisible cliff or something. What the fuck? Why is he able to... He's able to walk on air for a second and then he falls. I don't know why going near this makes him fall. Interesting. Isn't that good? That's a great design. And then I was finding out that like some characters can have like, are actually like puppets. I'm gonna follow this guy. I like his shit. And like like if you press R1, they'll do a pose, kind of like that posing game we did, and how you can like, the game has automatic collisions, so there's no floor in the whole scene. Well, why didn't he fall right away though? Whatever. An adventurous little robot girl character design made by Taxiderby. You can find his art on Twitter. Okay, so he's he used a design of a person on Twitter's drawing or something and then designed a character after it. Once you touch an object, the game goes, oh, okay, this is the only solid object. Okay, so it's all relative to the game until it doesn't activate the physics until, oh my god, look at this. Rusty's a little fox boy who seeks big adventures. Rusty is a custom attack and run animation with 2 weapons, sword and stick. There's a little goblin enemy that attacks you and kills you in 2 hits. You can also kill the goblin in 2 hits. I love the description. Oh my god, he's just a little box. Oh, that's great. Oh shit. The best thing about Dreams is how inspired you get by it. Like, I look at this character and I picture an entire game with guys who look like him. It's so great to get, like, ideas. Not that I'm lacking, but this guy is awesome. He makes a lot of different styles, which is cool. So I guess there's not much that can be done about clipping like that down below, huh? Like on her knees through her sweater. Unless you were to like make the sweater into... Because you can't... That's the one major limitation in Dreams, right? Is no stretching polys. Once a mesh has been made, it stays like that. You can't like stretch a thing. You can stretch a thing when you're designing it, I guess. Probably when you're sculpting, you can stretch things, but you can't. You think they'll pull it off on the PS5? Because I think that the stretching polys is a very doable thing. I mean, that's been around for generations of systems. Meshes that stretch and that are rigged. I think they could easily put stretching. I wonder, to me, I'm surprised at some of the things they've put in and that they didn't put in meshes that stretch. Dreams has no polygons? What do they have then? They're voxels and they have a merge technology. So they're using voxels that are just connecting, like, so there's no, are you saying that there's no such thing as a face? There's no faces in the game? So if faces don't exist, you can't stretch, but if anything, I would say that if it's voxel based, then it makes it even more stretchable. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot going on. I'm going to trust Media Molecule because, like, they were super ambitious and they would have put everything in that they think was possible for this. But I do think that they're going to, like, this is going to go places in the future. I really hope it does. I want it to be successful, and that's why I want to do more shows like this. Just, you know. These great designs. Wow, so good. One of the hardest things in creating things is a cohesive design style that fits together with the other things in its world. You guys will know on the show I've always been really sensitive to that. Things that don't look the style of the other things around them. Part of the reason why I was so critical of, like, you know, Mario Mario Odyssey. I hated the mishmash of styles in that world, and why I like Luigi's Mansion so much. Cute character. Man, I could just look at all this guy's stuff. I don't think it'll ever blow up. It's a really cool enemy design, yeah. So if you ever wanted to, like, if I wanted to keep this, say I wanted to make this, put this in one of my creations one day, I guess I could say what? I could like, I could follow the creation, obviously. I could send it to what? A collection? Add to a collection or another creation. So I could say something like, I could go like, let's see here. Plop him in there. I can choose a background, and I like that they even made curation creative. Like, what are the tools? Tools are for editing your dreams or collections. Okay. So you can scribble just to like make notes or whatever and point at things. Change color or font of the notes in your scribbles, new color or font. Okay. Choose a background. You can choose a different type of, okay, there's lots of things. You can add just actual literal notes. So you could like leave that note there, and then it's funny because on Twitter I asked for people who are good at dreams to come out today to give me tips, but I'm not really doing anything that you guys would be able to. Like, this is less than remedial stuff. I'm just kind of like marveling at the system right now still. That's where I am. Blank currently collecting. Okay, they automatically named the collection for me, right? Is this, so I want it to be baddies. I think that's what I'm doing right now, is naming putting in the name of the collection. Bomb mouse share. So did that work? Did I do that right? It was kind of confusing because they call collections, they consider that a creation. A collection is a creation, which is, you know, nice to make people who make collections feel good, but I feel like it's not on the same level. What's this? I made myself in dreams, says Bender Rodriguez. This is the guy who made all these. This is him. Alright. So that's that guy. And most of these characters have the head rigged to the controller, which is always, usually with the way that I'm holding the controller, it makes the character look pretty weird sometimes. Oh, look at it. He made like a set of cute houses. And he tagged it RPG. That's great. Here's a big question. about dreams. And I guess how does it work with assets in your game? Like, how easy is it to swap them out without editing the say you make a level, a platformer, and there's all these guys and stuff, but now you want all the baddies to have dicks on their heads. Can you go to the asset, to the original asset outside of that creation, and it will trickle down into your other creations? Or do you have to do it? Is it in a... Okay. And what if you want to edit just one of the baddies? You just want one of the Goombas to have a dick on his head. How do you edit just an individual one? Do you have to make a new guy? Like clone the other ones? And then even more complicated, what if I want to put a dick on this guy's head, but later if I want to put, but I only want to put a dick on the first Goomba's head. But if I later decide to put dicks on all Goomba's butts, will the dick appear on the Goomba's butt that I put a dick on his head, or will it not because I made him independent of the group of other Goombas? In other words, do all the changes that happen to the lot of them not happen to the individualized one? If you're smart, you create a baddie and an asset first, then put it in your scene. That allows you to update all your baddies in that scene with one button press. My suggestion would be to program one enemy to have random variation or programmable variation. So you can still edit one baddie in your scene and the changes will stay even if updated. So editing the individual will not affect the others unless you go into the nested object, and unless you go right into the asset and then edit it there. See, this is very similar to the way that everything worked in Flash. I loved Flash as an animation program because of everything was nested, and you could like make changes. As long as you made changes on the right layer, you could make it so that you could make changes across the board. Like when I made the little buzzers way back when, if I didn't like how one of their hands looked, I didn't need to change what the hand looked like through the entire animation. I just went into the asset and I made the hand an asset so I could make it like edit how it looked, like, you know, the stroke or the brush stroke that I thought needed to be thicker or thinner or whatever. And it like trickled down through the entire creation. You have a different solution. So I don't understand Frico's solution. Program the one enemy to have a random variation on programmable variation. Oh my god, that sounds too hard. But you can still edit one baddie in your scene and the changes. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay. This is how I am though. Like, I get way ahead of myself. Like, I just want to know the most complicated answers before I even start looking at the simple, learning to walk. Who knows if I'll end up creating a lot of anything in Dreams, but I'm really loving looking at it. So this is not rigged, right? This guy, somebody made this, or this guy, he made it but didn't rig it. But you could rig this, right? Could I rig it? Could I try to do that right now? He looks hard to do. So I would say that he's a character. Remix of Legends loot box. It's a guy from Apex Legends, so this is an Apex Legends character. Now, what would the first thing for me? I guess I'd have to go into tweak them and then go to. Well, he doesn't even have bones like those other characters I looked at, so it must be something you have to add. So I would probably, that's a group, you have to scope in. So ungroup it. How do you scope in? Where's scope in? I'm clicking on him. Oh, so scope in is how you like go. Okay, I was thinking scope in meant zoom. Where I did see scope earlier. Scope in. Let me see. Where did I see that? The arrow above save. Oh, there it is. Bam, I'm in. Ah, now I can edit all the individual pieces. Uh-oh. Undo. How undo? Huh? I thought I remember there being a... Is there a quick undo? Left button? Bam. Nice. So now I can, like, I feel confident that I can do everything now that I know it. Nice. Nice. Take a puppet and then transfer the sculpt over to the puppet. That's the easy and dirty solution. I would have to go grab a puppet though. The real magic is going to happen when Media Molecule adds comprehensive tutorials to this. Not just the ones that they had that I saw when we came in, which were kind of like just dialogue boxes that you skip through and you read a lot. Like actual, and we know they're going to do it because they're so good at shit like that. Puppets are in Logic. Logic. Thanks. Modes? Logic? Search, tools, modes, animate, gadgets. Gadgets. Okay, gadgets is our technical bits and bobs you could ever need to, all the technical bits and bobs you could ever need to construct dreams and elements, from lights and cameras to logic and sensors and everything in between. They all have various input and output ports that can wire up sculptures, characters, and other gadgets and so on to pass signals between them. Every gadget also has a tweak menu full of properties that you can adjust and wire up to other things. L1 and square while hovering over a gadget to open the tweak menu. See, all this is kind of not Media Molecule-like. I feel like it's good that they have this info here, but this is clearly like slapped on in order to get it out for early access. And I think that what they're doing now before full release is making a very comprehensive, we know a campaign's coming, right? And they're going to be making like master classes in how to do things, I think. Hover over the name of the top tweak menu and press X. Many of them have gizmos that set their direction, origin, axis, zone of influence, and so on. Tweak the gadgets to reveal the gizmos and experiment with them. More info too. Yeah, this is a lot to take in when you just... Oh, okay. But anyways, you said that in here, if you go into gadgets, you'll be able to grab a puppet, gameplay gear, cameras and lighting, movers and outputs, logics and processing. You go in here. Oh my fuck. Randomizer, calculator. I don't want in there. Gameplay gear. Okay. Bam. Now in here, checkpoint, prize bubble. Oh, here we go. Blank puppet deluxe, blank puppet basic, or puppet interface. Puppet interface. Oh my god, 16 pages. Deluxe puppet, you think? Okay. All the inputs you need to make a puppet do what a puppet's supposed to do, and all the outputs you need to get feedback from the triggered events in one handy gadget. This means you can plonk it into a microchip which another dreamer has set up. Which you or another dreamer has set up. The specific sounds and behaviors and wired up easily. The first page of the tweak menu is all inputs which typically wire to the controller sensor to make the puppet do stuff. The buttons are pressed. The other pages are all the outputs which you wire up to say stuff. Wow, 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 wow. I can get this back by hovering, I think, later. But you're saying Puppet Deluxe. Puppet Deluxe. Oh, now he's here. Stamped. Okay. And then you didn't do a single tutorial, so you're a tinkerer too. All right. Now what would you guys say I should do next to not wire him up? If I select this guy, tweak him? And should I just rewire his shit? And now it gets complicated. Scope into the sculpt, grab a leg, scope into the leg of the puppet, and place the leg there. Oh, so you're just saying like, go in, grab things. So grab this, cut it? How do you cut? How do you like... Like, I mean, I have it. How do you move things? How do you keep this in my... How do I put it in my clipboard? Oh, I place the puppet in this into the... I have to take him out first then. I better delete him then. Or could I leave him in there? Grab the puppet. L1 plus circle. What did I just do? Did that scope out? L1 circle? Okay. And then I can like pop them out. Now they're two independent dudes sitting around. And now we can grab this guy, scope in. What's the shortcut to scope in then? Shortcut L1X. Scoped in. Now grabbing the leg. Now how do I scope out and keep L1 circle? I did it, you pieces of shit. Now L1X and I'm in. I figured it out without any of your help. This is definitely not going to look right because look at how many parts there are to this thing. Like I have to make each one of these an independent leg, right? That's what I have to do. Puppets are crazy. Like I would have to make this a knee joint. But for now, let's just make a janky looking hack. But yeah, I see what you mean by that's the basic approach. With a puppet as complicated as the one I chose though, this design, like you probably wouldn't do this method, right? Because this guy needs to be wired from scratch. He's so not even close to a humanoid that you have to try the puppet tutorial. Yeah, sure, let's go do the puppet tutorial. Let's see what the puppet tutorial's like. Because they're gonna, like, right now I barely even know which buttons to press, and maybe just by going through the tutorials, I'm gonna learn just what buttons to be pressing even, just to get around. Because, you know, shortcuts like that are really good. I'm sure I could have made that work, but it would have taken me a lot of time. You can stretch and bend the puppet. What do you... Well, yeah, I gotta learn. I'm gonna go learn the ins and outs. This is also what tinkerers do. Over time, they like sometimes they're like. Usually, it takes me a lot longer. But eventually, you go like, fine, I'll read a fucking tutorial, and then you skim it, and then you're like, whatever. Becky, can I have a snack?
Yes.
I want apple crisp.
You want apple crisp?
Yes.
Hugo's not here right now.
Oh, Hugo! Hugo won't get off Becky so I can have apple crisp. Wait, how do I learn? How do I do tutorials? What's the community jam right now? Night or Day at the Museum is the name of it. Take part as a creator. Cute critters. Okay, the one that just ended is Night at the or Day at the Museum, and the one that's currently happening is Cute Critters. So people are creating cute critters. You know, it's Day at the Museum. The Space Museum? Alright, I'm getting distracted. The puppet tutorial is a bit like a game. I already got sidetracked. Where do I go to the puppet tutorial? This is how I am when I do things. I get sidetracked and I just go on little adventures learning how to do stuff. I don't care if Hugo's cuddling you. Dream shaping is where the tutorial is, okay.
Hey,
What?
Ellie.
What? Oh, there it says tutorials. So I did all the start dreaming shit. Art. Make art. I did the logic and... yeah. It's funny that logic has 2 check marks here when logic could be probably 50 to really like figure out what you're fucking doing and with logic. Do they have a masterclass later on? Maybe that's it. Not really. Yeah, I'll go to character creation. Animation, audio, gameplay. Where did it go? There it is, character creation. Want to learn how to make interesting characters with amazing abilities, how to remix and... yeah. Intermediate. With a little bit of love, the blank puppet can become a character of your very own. Find out how to change the pose and look of the puppet and add some accessories. Start the tutorial. Fine.
Connie's hosting a talent contest to find the best characters in the Dreamiverse. But she's a no-nonsense judge, and none of these candidates are up to scratch. Of course, so let's see if we can come up with something.
The timing.
Head into the dressing room, also known as edit mode, to get started.
Alright, this is the dressing room.
In this tutorial, we'll be customizing the appearance of a puppet. So we'll need a blank canvas to start. Go to the assembly menu and open the gadgets menu. Now open the gameplay gear menu. In here, find the blank puppet deluxe.
This one?
The deluxe version is the perfect starting point for making characters. Select it with X and a blue mannequin will appear on your imp.
How do I snap him
It
to the
has
ground?
built-in features like jump and possession animations.
I want him
which
to
the
snap.
basic version doesn't have. Connie won't be impressed by a basic puppet, so make sure you select the right one. Stamp the deluxe puppet in the scene with R2 or X. Get its
Alright.
feet roughly on the floor.
Roughly?
But make sure they aren't intersecting with it.
Okay.
Then press the circle button to unequip the puppet from your imp.
This basic ass bitch.
If you need to, you can grab and adjust the puppet with R2.
I need to give him a bigger butt. And then give
In
him
the
bigger
next
boobs.
step, we'll start exploring the puppet's inner workings.
Next part.
The puppet might look simple, but it's quite a complex gadget. So let's get to know it a little better. It's made up of many objects that have been grouped together. And just like any other group, it can be scoped into. Hover over the puppet with your imp, press and hold L1, and then press X to scope in. Below the puppet, you will now see its base and its logic microchip. If they're
L1X.
obscured by the floor, you may need to scope out and adjust your puppet's position. The puppet's body is made of sculptures, joined together with connectors. When scoped in, we can grab parts of the puppet to change its pose.
Huh?
Before
Oh,
we do that,
T-pose.
find the button called Puppet Mirror in the context menu. Select this button with X, and your puppet will stay symmetrical when you pose it.
Oh shit.
Of course, you don't have to make it
I
symmetrical.
fucked it up
but
already.
It's a good way to start.
There we go.
You can always add nuance later. When you move a part of the puppet, all the parts connected to it will also move.
Where's
roots
the
of the puppet
the
is
hip
pelvis,
the hip joint
and
doesn't
every
move.
other part is connected in a hierarchy from there.
I get it. What if I want the hierarchy be from the head?
For example,
Like what if he's
moving
Pinocchio?
The upper arm will move the lower arm and the hand as well. But if you move the pelvis, the whole puppet will move. Its feet will try to stay in contact with the floor.
Hey, yeah, it does.
So if you lower the pelvis, the puppet's knees will bend. You can also rotate parts by grabbing them with L2. Use R2 and L2 to create a new pose for the puppet.
The knees aren't staying.
Changing the pose can be a great starting point for a character. The pose could be confident, sad, scared, or aggressive. Don't forget, you can undo any changes with the left directional button if you make a mistake.
Oh, I made a lot. I
Use the
regret
webcam to
actions
adjust
and
your pose
deeds.
from different angles. Just hold R1 over the puppet to activate it. When you've finished posing your puppet, move on to the next step.
Wait, do what with the R1? What was that?
In your puppet, move on, different angle. Don't forget, you can undo any changes with the left directional button
Thank
if
you.
you make a mistake.
I rotated it.
Use the grab cam to adjust your pose from different angles. Just hold R1 over the puppet.
Oh, I know how to do that.
activate it. When
What?
you've finished posing your puppet, move on to the next step.
I was in space.
Now we've posed our puppet, we can start adjusting its proportions. To do that, we're going to use the stretch tool.
Okay.
Go to the assembly menu, then open the tools menu.
How do I get in the assembly menu? Okay.
Select the stretch tool. It's the one
Nope.
that looks like a double-ended arrow.
Tools.
The
Stretch.
stretch tool works like the move tool in a lot of ways. But with the stretch tool, you can move parts of the puppet beyond the limits of the connectors.
What?
Grabbing and moving the puppet's head. Notice the way the neck elongates and shortens. Now try it on the hands. This changes the length of the upper and lower arm. Some body parts respond differently to the stretch tool. For instance, if you move the upper arms, the shoulders will broaden and the chest will expand.
Ah.
You can also scale parts of the puppet using the up and down directional buttons. I'd only recommend doing this to the puppet's extremities though, the head, hands and feet.
Why?
Puppets are delicate contraptions, and extreme scaling and stretching can make them behave unexpectedly.
Well, then you
But if
reprogram
anything
it.
does go skew with, just undo it using the left directional button.
I like
If
this
you know
guy.
how to use sculpt mode, you could try scoping into the individual body parts to change their shape. Find a whole tutorial on sculpting in the art tutorials.
This is so cool. Holy fuck.
Have a play around with stretching and scaling and see what you can create. Try making the puppet more cartoony or turn it into a monster. To Test out your puppet in play mode to see it in motion.
Now I'm in sculpting mode. Well, first I should see it in
When
motion.
you're done, return to edit mode.
Are you fucking kidding me? Look at this shit. This thing was always made of
Time
2
to L3
pieces.
to get your puppet back in position. In the next step, I'll show you how to color and stylize your puppet.
Where's the play mode? Modes. Play. Get in. Oh yeah, he works perfect. So this, things aren't really rigged in this, are they? They don't have bones. They don't have bones, so to speak. Like the way that bones happen. I know a bit of 3D lingo because of working in a 3D. They have connectors, not bones. So the bones seems to be like the shape itself. The sculpt itself is the bone, which is much different from how most things work. From what I've gathered, like in 3D work. How do I? Oh, L3 got him back. Okay. Everything is shapes. So how do they know which is the if it's just connectors? How do you tell it this is the shoulder end and this is the elbow end of this particular shape? This is the shoulder, and that's how do you tell it which end is what with the bones menu? Okay, so you can tell it how it works. Okay, I guess they'll probably teach me that.
Another way of customizing your puppet's appearance is by changing its color. We can do this by tinting it in coat mode. If you've played my tutorial on coat, style and effects, you'll already know how to do this. In the assembly menu, go to the modes menu and enter coat mode. In the coat mode menu, open the colors menu and select a color for your puppet. Now hover over your puppet and hold R2 to tint it with your selected color. The longer you hold R2, the stronger the tint will become.
Why are they calling it tinting and not just coloring?
If you want your puppet to be multicolored, simply scope into the puppet. Select a different color from the colors menu. Hover your imp over a part of the puppet you want to tint. How about the head? Now, when you press and hold R2, just that part of the puppet will be tinted.
Wait, what? I already was scoped in.
You can also
Okay.
use the tools in style mode and effects mode. Try using style mode to change the texture of your puppet. If you don't know how to use style mode, there's an art tutorial which can help you.
I made him boil.
The next step,
What's that gonna
dive
do?
into the dressing up box.
I applied boiling to him, but that effect doesn't seem to be happening. You can press R3 to play at any time? Oh, cool. You like the way that they've seamlessly integrated the creation and the game portions, like they're seamless. They blend together. I am always playing the game because the game is the creation tool. It's crazy.
One of the simplest ways to customize a puppet is by adding accessories. But to make sure they move with the puppet, we need to group them with a body part. Before we do that, it's important to fully understand the concept of scoping in and out of groups and objects. If you played part 4 of the Start Dreaming tutorials, then you'll already know a thing or two about using groups. Objects in dreams are often combined into groups, which can be treated like a single object in assembly mode. Groups themselves can also be grouped.
Oh, look what they put down here.
This means that you can have groups nested inside other groups. Let's try scoping in and out of something else before we invade the puppet's personal space. Over there on the floor is a hat box. Make sure you're in edit mode. Now try taking the lid off the hat box.
Can't. It's grouped. You piece of shit. You tricked me.
Its contents have been grouped.
Oh, there's just another hat box inside.
Button to put it back
Do I have to get back into it? Do I have to nest into the next one?
Scope into the group.
What the
Hover over that
fuck?
box, press and hold L1.
Look at that
and
shit.
press X.
Now he has a hat.
Everything but the box
That's
should
cute.
go grey and blurry. If not, make sure your visual feedback preference
Now I have to
is set
scope
to
out.
This shows that you've scoped into the group and can edit.
Probably want to
its
scope
contents.
into his head.
Now you should be able to take the lid off the hat box. Inside is another hat box. Try
Yeah,
taking
I'm way
the
ahead
lid
of you.
this one. I think you can guess what will happen. This smaller hat box is also grouped with its lid and contents. Remove the smaller box and place it next to the large one. Now scope into this group by holding L1 and pressing X over the smaller hat box. The original hat box will go grey and blurry as we've scoped into a subgroup. Now you should be able to open the smaller hat box. What's inside? A lovely hat. Take it out and place it next to the smaller box. When you've done that, proceed to the next step. Now that we've taken the hat out of the box, let's try putting it on our puppet. First, we need to scope out of this group. To do
Wow.
that, simply hold
3
L1
minutes to tell me how to do
and
this?
circle. That takes us
I
back
get it
into
though.
the
It's
large
tutorials. You can't be too. You
Now
can't
scope
presume
into
anything.
the main scene by holding L1 and pressing circle. Pick up the hat. Ah, we seem to have a bit of a problem here. The hat is still inside the nested groups.
You told everybody to leave
Inside the hat box.
without holding the hat.
When you scope in and out, only you and your imp are moving in and out of objects or groups. Unless you're carrying something with you. Scope back into the large hatbox group and then into the smaller hatbox group to get the hat. Now grab and hold the hat with R2 and scope out of both groups with L1 and circle while holding the hat. If you've done it correctly, you should be back in the main scene. With a hat you can now move independently of the boxes. That's because scoping in and out of a group whilst holding an object adds or removes it from that group.
Okay.
Now scope into the puppet's head.
I did that.
Two objects if you're already grabbing one of them. Simply grab an object and scope into another object to group them automatically without having to group with the head. Place the hat where you want it. Remember to check it from different angles using the grab cam to make sure it's in position. Press R2 softly to nudge if you need to make fine adjustments to the position of the hat. Before you move on, you should try out the puppet to see it walk around with its new accessory. Switch to play mode. Ready to continue, go back to edit mode. Going to play mode and back to edit mode will scope you out of any groups.
Alright.
Remember to rewind time with L3 to get your puppet back in position. Then go to the next step.
I wanted to listen to the whole thing kind of just in case he gives like some pro tip like in the middle of all that, but he didn't.
Okay, let's add some more accessories before our puppet's stage debut. Open the assembly menu and select search, the button with the magnifying glass, to search for an element. Usually you'd be in the Dreamiverse here, but for this tutorial I've kept things simple and curated a collection of elements for you to use. Take a look at some of the accessories in the collection. Select one you like with X. You'll now have your chosen accessory on your imp. Don't stamp it down yet though. First we need to scope into the puppet. You can do this even when you have an element from the Dreamiverse on your imp. Scope in with L1 and X, and then scope into the body part that you want to attach it to. If that body part is already in its own group, you'll enter that group. But if the body part is just a sculpture, then you'll create a new group when you stamp the object down. Once the accessory is in the group, you can adjust the accessory while you're there. Try adding some more accessories from the collection.
Oh, I guess I could stay in there. I wish that the DS4 did not
Then
drift.
it's important to test the puppet in play mode to check that the accessory is attached correctly.
Oops.
Here's another very important tip. If you ever want to remove an accessory, whatever you do, don't ungroup the body part.
Huh?
If you do that, you'll delete that group's connection to the puppet. And without the connector, your puppet's limbs will start falling off when you go into play mode. And nobody wants that. Instead, scope into the group containing the body part and the accessory. Then either delete the accessory or grab it and scope out. If there's only one object left in the group, it'll automatically ungroup, and the connector will remain safely connected to the remaining object.
I'm not kidding. I didn't catch any of that because I'm trying to put an eye on. But my little imp, he's too far away.
Happy, select the star podium from the tutorial collection and stamp it down in the outline that we've put in the scene for you.
And I'm having trouble getting him to come back.
Then head back into play mode, jump onto the podium and see what Connie thinks of your creation.
Why can't I get Connie or my imp to come closer? I'm zooming. I can only get Connie or the imp can only come if I zoom out. That's the only way I can get this thing in front of the head. The camera moves more than the You can zoom to your imp. How do I zoom on the imp? Because I'm zooming. You found this hard? Yeah, like I'm finding it kind of weird the way that. Hold R1 to zoom in on your imp. So if you move in front of the puppet, you can zoom into it. So, okay, I was scoping in too much. I was holding the puppet when I was doing the grab cam instead of, so basically it's the grab cam while not holding anything. the grab cam, but don't grab anything but air. And then you zoom in on your imp. That's how it works. I get it. Great. Looks pretty good. But first, yeah, the drift is so annoying on this. Let me. Put a tail. Right here. It's a front tail. So, how can I make this bounce as he walks? You guys tell me how to make this bounce. There's got to be a quick and easy way, right? How would I, well, maybe it's not quick, but what would the first step be to make this jiggle? Probably I would go to, I'm going to guess gadgets, and then, let me see, connectors, cameras and lighting, sound. Connected with a floppy connector, so go to connectors then. And then sensors and inputs, logics and processing, movers, ball joint, bolt, motor bolt, piston, Jesus Christ, slider, string, or elastic. What would you do? What would you do if you were me? Same sort of movement as string, but elastic has an additional feature you get to expect from stretchy and bouncy. You can make a bungee or slingshot with it. You can adjust how stretchy and bouncy it is and tweak the menu to slack or strength options. Don't forget to start with the connector at the parent and finish with the child. Slingshot example, the handle would be the parent and the pouch would be the child. The parent and the child gizmos are labeled clearly with more info so you know which is which. Let's have fun. Stamp a shape and then start a new sculpture and stamp another. Select elastic and connect the two shapes together. Tweak the child shape and let's, whoa. Okay, so if I do this, I would start with the parent, which is the pelvis. So I should probably, oh, you can see the bones. Nice. Maybe I'll just attach it to his body. I mean, the fact that it's attached to his body isn't the worst thing, is it? Like, and then I'm going to connect it to, so it's kind of connected to the side of his hip. Can't get Connie or the imp to move backwards a bit. It's not letting me zoom any further. Oh, there we go. Weird. It's feeling weird. I can't get the blue ball to go where I want it. You can adjust it later, but I'm just afraid I can't even connect it to the tail. To the front of the tail, you think? Okay, but, okay, it's just, depth doesn't work with this, so I guess, okay. I guess, let's see how this feels. Well, that doesn't quite work. There it goes. And I guess the gadget would be invisible during actual play, right? So this clearly needs to be tweaked. So how can I adjust it? I would have to, let's see here. Okay, I'm adjusting it to the, there. Maybe now. Okay, it's a little bit better now. Maybe, I mean, it's not a lot better, but I need it to be a little less stretchy then. I just need to like, if I made it really tight, accidentally did a thing. Okay. I guess if I like tweaked it, tweak the selected and say, let's make that tightness real tight. Let's make it like there. Maybe it'll just jiggle now. Okay. Sort of jiggling around. It's like it needs another connector to keep it nice and tight on there. There's jiggle, and then there's also strength. Low value would make it thin piece of elastic, easy to stretch. A high value would make it a thick piece, hard to stretch. What's the difference between that and tightness? I guess one is the amount of weight versus resistance to being moved. Okay, that's not, like, I thought that that would be a lot tighter. How heavy is this fucking tail? So this connector's not tight enough for me, but so they've shown that it's too bad that stretchers in this game can't be put into the animation. Like, this is just here for the creator's benefit. That'll be invisible while actual play happens, right? They've shown that there can be stretchy polys in this game, even if polys don't exist. I don't know what else to call them, but stretchy geometry can happen. They've just demonstrated it right there. How do I go to the play now? Hey, Ruds. How you doing, bud? There it is. Test mode. Oh, it's interesting. They're still showing me the connector. Shouldn't that be invisible when you're actually playing? My tail's all over the place. That's not a tail. That's not working. That's not working as intended. Not in test mode, so it still appears in test mode. Hugo should fuck off. How do I go to Connie's event? How do I get on her stage? Can this be completed, or is it just... That's it? Bunny? It can be completed? How do I do it? The guy said, like, Oh,
Then
here's what
head
he
back
says.
into play mode, jump onto the podium,
Ah.
and see what... When you're happy, select the
Ah.
Star Podium from the tutorial collection and stamp it down in the outline that we've put in the scene for you.
Where is
Then
it
head
again?
back into play mode, jump onto the podium, and see what Connie thinks of your creation.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I have an idea. Yeah, I have an idea. Now that's avant-garde. What if I am the stage? Or I'm wearing the stage onto the stage. Fashion-forward people have to appreciate such a thing. With my tail dangling off my front. Oops, I didn't scope out when I stamped the stage. Whoops! I scoped way too far in. There's a camera on the stage. Okay, I'm just gonna grab this, scope out, drop it there. Okay, and then get into play mode, test mode. I'm on the stage. He jumped into the air. I think I broke it. I think you were supposed to see some things happen there, but I think the size of his hat kind of ruined it. Connie just disappeared, basically. Nailed it. We're gonna make it after all. Hey, Ruds. How you doing, bud? The platform camera overwrote this cutscene camera. That's amazing. Time to file a bug report. Excuse me, when the tutorial asked me to place the stage in order to complete the puppet creation tutorial, I chose to have a stage as a hat, and the stage on my head took precedence over the actual stage. I think this was a glaring oversight by your team. They should have foreseen somebody wanting to do this, getting the true ending to the tutorial. Media Molecule would take you seriously too. They're too wholesome for their own good. Hey, Ruds. Alright, so there's an advanced character gameplay. What's all this about?
Oh dear, it looks like Cuthbert is really stuck this time. In previous tutorials, you've edited the scene to help Connie reach Cuthbert. But this time, you'll be editing Connie herself, supercharging her with some new abilities to get past the obstacles in the scene. Bear in mind that this is a complex tutorial in which it's easy to make a mistake. If you do, remember to use the left directional button to undo. Now go into play mode and see how far you can get. Possess Connie with R2 and press the X button to jump. Oops, she can't even get over the first obstacle. So let's start by souping up her jump height. Switch back to edit mode and we'll get started. To change Connie's jump height, all we need to do is tweak her. So hover over her,
Easy now.
hold L1 and press the square button to open her tweak menu. This is a puppet tweak menu. As
Whoa.
you can see, it's jam-packed with different options.
Double jump height.
Thankfully, the setting we want is on the first page.
So could I add a new value in here that says triple jump?
Control Connie's overall movement. We could make Connie run super fast or super slow, but nah, that's not gonna help her. A nice high jump is what we need. What do we have here? This slider controls Connie's jump height. Hover over it with your imp and hold X to grab it. Move your imp to adjust the slider to around 3 meters. That should be enough to
Fuck
get
you.
that
I made it
slider
8. Can't tell me what to do.
The puppet tweak menu also has some really useful testing controls.
Woo!
Click R3 to start time and Connie will come to life. See what happens now if you hover your imp over the jump height slider. You can preview the jump,
Wow.
so you can get it to the perfect height without having to test it in play mode.
That's awesome. I wish I was doing that right now.
I think you should dial it back to 2.5 meters, or she might overshoot the jump. You can make small adjustments to sliders by using the up and down directional buttons. Hover over the slider and use the down directional button to adjust the setting. Feel free to explore some of the other settings in the menu. If you're not sure what a button or slider does, just hover over it for a few seconds and a more info tip will pop up to explain. You can even adjust the strength of gravity on her jump. Turn it down a bit to make her jump more floaty. When you've got Connie's jump the way you want it, give it a test run in play mode. See how far Connie can get now, then move on to the next step when you're ready to continue.
So I go into play mode. Whoop. Yeah, I gave her double jump. What? I need crouch ability.
Well, that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, Connie's new jumping skills aren't going to be much use on the next obstacle. And don't even think about making her jump over the top, because that force field will zap her in a second. Instead, let's give Connie the power to crouch. I bet she's always dreamed of it. If you're still in play mode, switch back to edit mode now. Rewind time with L3 to put Connie back at the start. To give her a crouch, we need to scope into her. Puppets are made up of sculptures, connectors and gadgets that are grouped together. Hover over Connie, press and hold L1, then press X to scope in. When you've scoped into a puppet, you can see its inner workings.
Connie's brain.
Back, there's a microchip gadget. It's called Connie's brain, and it contains all her logic and animations. Let's take a look inside. Hold L1 and press X over it to scope in and open the microchip canvas. There's quite a lot going on in here. The gadget I want you to look at is this one in the bottom right corner with the diamond icon. This is a keyframe gadget. If you've played through the Keyframes and Timelines tutorial, You'll already know all about these. Keyframes record changes to things in the scene. They store those changes in a gadget, which can be triggered using logic. This keyframe contains a crouching pose for Connie. Select the keyframe with X, and you'll see a preview of how it looks. Those dashed lines over Connie show that she's being changed by the keyframe. Press circle to deselect the keyframe and she goes back to normal. To be able to activate the crouch keyframe, we need to connect it to Connie's controller sensor. Then you'll be able to make her crouch with a controller button. In the next step, I'll show you how to do exactly that.
What the fuck?
To activate the crouch, we're going to connect it to Connie's controller sensor. If you've closed her microchip, scope back into her and then scope into
What do you think, I'm a
the microchip
fucking
and
idiot?
open it up.
I didn't close the microchip.
The controller sensor is the large gadget on Connie's microchip. It has a controller icon on it. Open up its tweak menu with L1 and square.
This is
Now
insane. Look at this
and the
shit.
tweak menu open, you may need to arrange them on the screen. Make sure that the controller sensor and its tweak menu stay to the left. This
How do
is
I-
because they generate signals, and signals flow through gadgets from left to right in Dreams. You can also save the 3D space position of tweak menus and microchips, or pin them to the screen, using the buttons that appear at the top when hovering over the canvas. This will help you keep them tidy while you're editing logic, which is very important as it's easy to make mistakes. Now, let's take a closer look at that controller sensor. Ah, look, controller buttons. Just what we need. All playable characters contain a controller sensor gadget like this one. But the gadget can also be used for any situation where you want to detect button presses. To assign our keyframe to a button, we just need to wire it to the
Why are there
controller
tabs on
sensor.
both sides?
We won't use a circle button as that depossesses Connie, and X makes her jump. So how about the square button to crouch? Make sure you can see the keyframe on the microchip. Move the tweak menu with R2 if you need to.
Oh, so like you can
If
make
you hover
something
over
press the square
in
button?
the controller sensor menu, you'll see ports appear on either side of it. They're just like the ports you see on gadgets. Ports on the left are inputs, and ports on the right are outputs. Now, you need to be very precise for the next part, as it's easy
Both
to
sides say
make mistakes.
detects when
Carefully hover your
square
arm
is
over the
pressed
output
and
port of the
outputs.
square
They're
button
both outputs.
and press X to create a wire.
What?
Stretch that wire over to the keyframe and connect it to the power port on the bottom of the gadget with X. If at any time you make a mistake, just undo it using the left directional button. Once your crouch move is all wired
The
out,
description's wrong?
close the
Yeah.
controller sensor tweak menu. Hover over it, hold L1, then press circle to close. Now try out Connie's new crouch in play mode. See if she can make it under the second obstacle. When you're ready to continue, go back to edit mode. Rewind time with L3 and start the next step.
You can't possess your guy in L3 mode, right? You have to go into play mode. There you go. So what is interesting to me though is that the controller, like all the buttons had inputs, But isn't the input the human interface? Aren't those the one thing in the game, the one part of a gadget that should not have a toggleable input? Like, the input is me. The only reason that there should be an input over there is if they wanted to make it so that each of those things is that you wanted to attach a different button to it, so that you could like remap the keys by having different buttons. Like you decide, you drag and drop the X button over top of one of them, so you can put anything anywhere. Oops. I'll keep going here.
Right, we're on to the final obstacle. There's no way around it, but it looks destructible. So we're going to make a slam attack for Connie so that she can smash through it. We'll start by recording a pose for the slam. We can do this using a keyframe. Scope back into Connie and open up her microchip if it isn't already open. If you've played my keyframes and timelines tutorial, you'll have a bit of a head start on this next part. Go to the assembly menu and open the animate menu. Select the keyframe with X. You'll now have a keyframe
No, I don't need that.
gadget on your imp. Stamp it somewhere in the scene with R2 or X. The keyframe records changes you make to objects and settings in the scene. It starts recording as soon as you stamp it. You can tell it's recording because your imp will change shape and colour. Now that we're recording, grab Connie's upper body with R2 and drag it gently down to the floor. Because we're scoped into her, we can move her body parts individually to create a pose. If we weren't scoped in, we'd move Connie's whole body. Notice that her knees automatically bend. Make sure her cone is all the way down to the floor so that you can't see her legs. Keyframes can record changes to anything, even tweak menu settings. So, just for visual flair, let's also make her glow. Hover over Connie's cone, hold L1 and press square to open its tweak menu. Because we're scoped in, this opens the tweak menu for the sculpture itself, rather than the puppet. All the settings on this page change the way Connie's cone looks. Look for the glow slider on the first page. Its icon is a sun. Raise the glow up to about 40%.
Hey, how do you get there?
Or square to open its tweak menu. So, just for visual flair, let's also make her glow. Hover over Connie's cone, hold L1 and press square to open its tweak menu. Because we're scoped in, this opens the tweak menu for the sculpture itself, rather than the puppet. All the settings on this page change the way
crazy.
looks. Look for the glow slider on the first page. Its icon is a sun. Raise the glow up to about 40%.
No.
Once you've set the glow,
100.
select stop recording in the context menu to store the changes to the keyframe. You can close the tweak menu now too. Just hover over it, hold L1 and press circle. Select the keyframe gadget with X to preview what's being recorded. Looks good.
Whoops.
Deselect the keyframe by pressing circle. In the next step, we'll continue building Connie's slam attack.
What did he say? Did I do it all? I just want to make sure I did it. Oops.
Stop recording in the context menu to store the changes to the keyframe.
I did that.
You can close the tweak menu now too. Just hover over it, hold L1 and press circle. Select the keyframe gadget with X
Okay.
to preview what's being recorded.
Yeah.
Looks good. Deselect the keyframe by pressing circle.
So how do I edit the
Next
keyframe
step,
now?
we'll continue building Connie's slam attack.
Edit keyframe. Okay. I want her to. There we go. Oh, did I finish it? There we go.
The next step is to place our new Connie animation into a timeline. Using a timeline will let us time the animations and effects of the slam attack. Go to the assembly menu and back to the animate menu. Select the timeline with X. Hover over Connie's microchip and stamp a timeline above the crouch keyframe. Now let's open the timeline canvas with L1 and X. The slam attack should be a really quick animation, so adjust the canvas so it's only 1 second long. Any longer and it won't feel snappy enough. Hover over the edge of the timeline canvas so that a white line appears along it. You'll also see a white double-ended arrow appear next to the edge.
This is the best.
When you see this, grab the edge of the canvas with X. Move
They've
your
thought of
shorten the
everything.
timeline to 1 second. Make sure you don't select the trim button by mistake.
Did I select the
It's
trim
a
button?
square button by the numbers at the top of the timeline. It has a black arrow on it.
This one?
The timeline duration is now correct, but the space is very small. So let's zoom in a bit. Hover your imp over the timeline canvas, hold L1 and press the right directional button to zoom in. This will keep the timeline duration to 1 second long.
Fucking
Select the
awesome.
space so that you can fit more detail into it. If you need to zoom out, just hold L1 and press the left directional button. Now let's put our slam attack keyframe onto the timeline. Grab the keyframe with R2 and place it at the start of the timeline canvas. Make sure you've got the slam keyframe and not the crouch one. The gadget automatically snaps to the surface of the canvas. The keyframe is only a fraction of a second long at the moment, but we need it
If
to
you put it at the,
end of
yeah,
the
it can't be
timeline.
there because, yeah.
So hover over the keyframe and hold the up directional button to scale it. Make it the same length as the
How did he
timeline.
put it at the very beginning without his thing getting all jank?
Now we want to wire the timeline up to a button press, just like we did with the crouch.
Is it because he,
Move the
oh,
timeline
probably because he
canvas
did
so that
this.
You can see the controller sensor
Pinned
and
the screen.
timeline gadget.
There we go.
Open the controller sensor tweak menu.
Whoa, dude,
L1
you're moving too
square,
fast for me
just
now.
like we did the button to scale it. Make it the same length as the timeline. Button to scale it.
Oh,
Make
just
it
the
same
directional.
length as the timeline. Now we want to wire the timeline up to a button press, just like we did with the crouch. Move the timeline canvas so that you can see the controller sensor and the timeline gadget. Open the controller sensor tweak menu with L1 and square. I'm going to use L1 as the slam attack button. Hover over the output port of the L1 button and press X to create a wire. Stretch the wire down to the timeline gadget and connect it to the power port on the bottom. You can now use the L1 button to perform Connie's slam attack. Give it a try in play mode. At the moment, it's just an animation, so it's not going to do anything to the blocks. But in the next step, I'll show you how to add some force to it. When you're ready to continue,
That's awesome.
return to edit mode, rewind time, and start the next step.
Where should I go? Where am I? Modes. There we go. L1. Whoa. Maybe if I want to see what's happening. Maybe I shouldn't make it 100%. Maybe that guy was right. How do I... Simple things like... How do I get back to assembly mode? I guess I'm in it. I just had to stop time, right? Is that what that was? L3 to rewind time. Select Connie's brain. Select the timeline now. Select the keyframe. Now that I'm in the keyframe, I want to select the cone. And in here, I will make the glow less on this point. Fine. You win. Do I have to press stop recording in order to... I think I can just leave, right? I don't... Oops. I guess I do have to press stop recording. There we go. Oops. The controller drift. It's the one main issue. For the reason that, like, I want to get better at the Move controllers, because I know that, like, it's weird, because the Move controllers have their own completely different feel to them, and it's kind of hard to get... Well, I don't even know where to begin with them. What the... I've possessed Connie, or I'm holding Connie? I don't even see my imp. Shouldn't my imp be on the screen? That's weird. I'm not sure why that's happening. I was able to use the Move controllers a little bit off show, and I thought it worked. They worked really well. They had depth, which was nice. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Anybody have any idea what was happening with the Move controllers there? Why my imp wasn't appearing? There we go. Now Connie is charged up. Yeah, maybe I just needed to reset on my imp. Yeah, that's a good call. The imps. Oh, there they are. So what is the one without eyes supposed to be called? The number 2 imp that doesn't get to... One imp has a personality and the other one is... has no eyes. Yeah, like... These don't drift. Which is great. But I can understand why you would, over time, want to stop moving your arms as much and would want to... I think it's just a trick to, like, get used to doing this. I think with VR, this would be a lot of people's preferred way to do things, especially. You can, like, do this to get in and out really easily. It's like you're grabbing and kind of, I love that. And no drifting. Yeah, I think in the, like, some of you guys said you have moved controllers, but you end up defaulting all the time back to the DS4 for some reason. I wonder why. Alright, I'm going to take a break and stretch, and maybe I'm going to go try to wake up Hugo off Becky's lap so I get to eat a snack. Rudiger's being super cute. Hi, buddy. How you doing? It's just easier to use the controller? But is that because you haven't gotten used to the Move controller? It's the setup for you. I see. Alright. I'm going to take a break, guys. I'll probably just leave the stream. Yeah, I'll leave you to watch Rudiger there. I'm just going to head on down. We'll be back in a little bit. Hello. Did we lose all our experts? Is there anybody still left that I'm good that will help me? I guess I'm just taking the tutorials. It's okay. I don't need no fucking experts. I'll just become my own expert. Then what are they gonna do? Hello, Lino, bro. If you're just joining, if you've joined recently, today it's a very casual look at dreams. I'm just like, I've been wanting to do this for a while now, and I did a little bit off show, just poking around the dream sphere, looking at what people do. I want to know more about what makes the game tick, if only to appreciate dreams from a new level, to know what people are doing in here and what they're having to create, and then maybe to make my own, a couple of my own creations. Who knows? Maybe just for fun, something derpy, something fun. There was that idea that I've had for a while now that that I said initially when we first started looking at dreams, was to recreate a kind of WarioWare within dreams. Super micro quick experiences that all chain into the next, using people's assets from within, remixing people's stuff within dreams, potentially, to make really quick experiences that last, like, basically, what was WarioWare? What was the count? How long did each WarioWare game last? I feel like it was always like, the game starts. Dun, 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 dun. It was like a count of like a count to 4, 5. Was it 5? I'm trying to. It had a rhythm to it, like a real feel. 2, 3, 4, 5. The question is, if we wanted to make it that quick, could dreams load things quick enough to make the experience flow that well? 3 to 5. All right, next step here.
The slam attack animation is all set up, but it's not doing much besides looking cool, so we need to add a gadget to our timeline that will emit a force when Connie slams the ground. The gadget we're going to use for this is the force applier. Go to the assembly menu and open the gadgets menu. Find the move as an output menu and open it with X. The icon for the force applier looks like a gust of wind. Select it with X to equip it to your imp. I hope you've still got the timeline open.
Hey, whoa, dude.
Open it with L1 like a gust of wind. Open the gadgets menu.
Yeah.
Find the move as an output menu.
Movers.
Open it with X. The icon for the force applier looks like a gust of wind. Select it with X to equip it to your imp.
Yeah. That's fine.
I hope you've still got the timeline open. If not, open it with L1 and X. Snap
Oops.
the force applier onto the timeline canvas along the keyframe.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I need to get into my imp. Cancel stamp. So you can't go in to the imp if you've got one of these force appliers in your hand. Yeah, okay. That's something that you can't go in with while holding still. That's weird, because most other things you could. Rad Lottie says, as long as it's enough time to predetermine the next game in advance so they can be loaded in advance. I don't know what superliminal is, Maxdom, but maybe I could check it out. Maybe.
It's on my radar.
Okay. All right. Force applier. And now what do you want
Press circle to unequip the force applier from your imp.
I need to get into the...
The force applier isn't very strong by default, so we'll need to tweak it. To open its tweak menu, hover over the gadget, hold L1 and press square. At the top of the tweak menu is the force strength slider. Its icon is a beefy arm. Drag it all the way up to 100% using your imp. That will ensure the force emitted will overcome the gravity in the scene and the friction between the blocks. Next, increase the force speed to 10 meters per second. That will give the slam attack some punch. If you take a look at Connie, you'll see a green zone around her. Anything in this zone will be affected by the force applier. At the moment, the zone isn't much bigger than Connie. Hover your imp over the zone and arrow gizmos will appear. Grab them with R2 and move your imp to change the size of the zone. Or you can scale the zone more precisely in the force applier tweak menu. Go to the tab called Zone Size. Grab the zone size slider with X and set it to about 3.5 meters. Okay, let's test out Connie's new powers. Switch over to play mode. Possess Connie and give her new slam attack a try. Oops! Looks like it's more power than Connie can handle.
Oh, fuck you then.
The supplier is pushing her off the platform.
Why are you gonna make...
Switch back to edit mode and rewind time.
Alright, I'll just go ahead and
In the final step,
not do what
I'll
you...
show you how to tweak the force applier so that it only affects the objects we want it to.
So what he's saying is, I guess... I love that all that shit can stay open while I do this, just to see it. Whoa. Her brain is just like open. Uh-oh, it looks like you failed, you big dummy. You fucking idiot. Wait, how do a British son... Give me Britishisms. Oh, Red Letter, you're not British, fuck. I always think that you're the same as all the other guys. Your whole crew. Alright, what's the next thing here? He is British, but he lives in America, but he has a British accent.
From pushing Connie off the platforms, we're going to use labels. Scope back into Connie and open up her microchip.
I'm already there, jerk.
Open the timeline canvas with L1 and X. Now tweak the force applier with L1 and square. Labels can be given to any object in the scene, and gadgets like the force applier can detect them. In the force applier tweak menu, go to the Labels tab. By default, it will detect all labels.
Can you have unlimited arbitrary labels?
Scenery, targets.
Or is it just these ones that they give you?
The label is used for playable characters like Connie or friendly characters like Cuthbert. So if we deselect it, the force applier will no longer affect Connie. Hover over the friend button and press X to deselect it. It's the button with the heart icon. Now Connie should be able to blast through the blocks without firing herself off into space. Use her new skills to pass all the obstacles.
Is there a button to close all? Just to make all this
You can use your new skills to create some
without having to do every single one? Because I imagine, like, with some creations, that becomes like a lot of menus to get through. Those labels are limited, but tags, you can have custom ones. Tags are different from labels?
Finish this tutorial.
Oh, all I did was just pound the ground. Labels are a lot more simple. You can tell things to look for specific tags, etc. Huh. What a piece of shit. Always getting into trouble. Aw, poor Ruds. Uh-oh. What's going on here? The tutorial didn't want to end. I guess I figured it all out. Object with the tag key enters a trigger zone to open a door. Ah. So you could have arbitrary tags, like just as many as you wanted. Or at least until your logic thermometer filled up. Well, that was cool. That taught me a lot. Maybe I'll jump into animation. Fucking
It looks like Cuthbert is in a spot of bother.
Cuthbert, you
Connie
cunt.
needs our help to get across these platforms so she can rescue Cuthbert.
It looks like Cuthbert's being a bit of a cunt again.
Get her there. You don't need to go into play mode to see that Connie won't be able to make this jump. So
Cuthbert.
let's animate that floating ledge down to her using an action recorder. Action recorders are super easy to use. Just stamp one in your scene and it will record anything you move with the imp. And we mean anything.
What? Stop it. There we
It'll
go.
even record you moving or tweaking gadgets. We better get going. Connie's getting really impatient.
Wait, what?
Cones are like. Go to the assembly menu. Press the square button if it's not already open. Then head to the animate menu. The animate icon is a clapperboard. That thing they use in movies before the director says action. Now you get to be the director. And you can use these tools.
It will
to actually
animate you
objects.
tweaking shit?
Select the action recorder, the icon with a film strip and a plus sign on it. You'll now have an action recorder gadget on your imp. Stamp it down, somewhere near the floating ledge. A progress bar will appear at the top of the screen, along with a record button on the right. Also, your imp will turn red. This means you're ready to start recording. Don't worry, recording won't start until you begin moving or changing things. When you're ready, grab the floating ledge with R2. Move it slowly towards Connie using the motion sensor function or the sticks.
That was
You'll notice
terribly
the bar
animated.
starts to fill, recording your every move.
So the recording bar is kind of
Don't worry,
limited.
It's not a time limit.
Oh.
The bar fills up as a visual indicator of something being recorded, so take your time.
Oh. Oh, it just gives you more room when it runs out.
Pause. If you move your view or use the grab cam, that won't be recorded. But if you've started time with R3, recording will continue when you let go of R2. That's why it's important to rewind or pause time before recording anything. That way, your action recorder only contains what you put into it. When you've finished recording, select the stop recording button in the context menu.
Come on, pal. Come on.
Or you can use the shortcut.
I know
R1
she's
and
downstairs.
circle button to exit the action recorder. Your imp will go back to normal to show that recording has stopped. Click R3 to play back your animation.
Look at my shit-ass
Handmade
animation.
animations are always a bit wobbly, but practice makes perfect. Calibrating your imp can help when using the motion sensor function.
Is there a smooth
Just
function?
hold your controller
Can
in
I
a comfortable
smooth
position
the keyframe?
and
Or
hold
like,
the Options
can I
button
smooth those actions out? Can it take the
In the next step,
Bezier
I'll show you
curves?
how
Can
to
it
edit
add
the
like
recorded
Bezier
animation.
curves? Or like, you can smooth it? Wow. That's crazy. You could just add, yeah, Aubrey, yeah, you could do keyframes in order to just set an endpoint and, yeah, and just have it move between the two things. But what if I wanted to do hand animation, but I want it to not include all my shakiness? Well, anyways, that's something for, as long as I know you can do it, that's really interesting to know. So you could smooth it out so it just doesn't have as much shakiness, but it has the general like float down, and the timing is generally the same, but it just kind of smooths it a bit.
If you hover over the floating ledge, the action recorder will pulse. Select the action recorder with X, and dashed lines will appear on the objects animated with it. It'll also show the animation path. That's this dashed line. If you're not happy with your animation, redoing it is easy. First, rewind time with L3. Then hover over the action recorder gadget, hold L1 and press X. Now we can start recording again. Select the retake button in the context menu to replace the old animation.
What? I want to do the, I liked what I had, you
Now you
dummy.
can record a new one. Move the platform so it stops in front of Connie. You can undo actions you perform using the left directional button. But it won't undo any time that has passed. So it's better to use the retake button to undo animations. Move the floating ledge from the upper platform down to Connie. Don't worry if the animation's too slow or too fast. We can fix that later. Make sure you press the stop recording button when you're done. Spend a little time practicing with the action recorder. In the next step, I'll show you how to tweak your animation.
Okay.
Another way to edit animations is to tweak them. Hold L1 and press the square button over the action recorder gadget to open its tweak menu. Here you can see all the tweaks for the action recorder. By default, the playback mode is set to loop, so it plays the animation over and over again. But you can set them to play once, sustain, or to ping pong.
Sustain, so just...
Once will play the whole animation just one time. Sustain will play the animation for as long as the action recorder has power. If it loses power, it will stop. Then it will continue from that point when it's powered again. Ping pong plays the animation forward once, and then plays it in reverse. Then forward, then backwards, and so on.
Okay, what if I want
That
sustain
sounds
plus
like a
ping
good
pong?
option for our floating ledge.
And what if I
Select ping
want
pong
loop
with X.
or ping pong, or, I mean, loop and
Click
sustain?
R3 to start time and play the animation. You can also change the animation speed to make it slower or faster. Grab the slider with X and use your imp to change the speed.
Amplification.
If you want to explore more of the action recorder tweaks, you can. If you hover over any button for a few seconds, a more info tip will explain what that tweak does. To close the tweak menu, just hold L1 and press the circle button anywhere.
Loop and ping pong also work like a sustain? Okay.
Of course,
So why does sustain need to be
by pressing the left direction.
even an option?
Switch to play mode to test your changes.
Because sustain ends. So they're all like the power, if they're powered on, they stop when they're stopped.
Come back to edit mode and start the next step.
Travel. Huh? For looped animations, when on, instead of going back to the position in the scene where it started, the animation will start its animation from the place it ended. So, if you have something which moves from A to B, when it gets to B, it'll execute the same animation, but with B as the start point. So it like basically will crawl along like an inchworm, if potentially. Let's see what that looks like. Well, my thing went back. But it is, because I went too far back, it's slowly going further to the right. Yeah, okay. I see. And where's the smoothing in here? You promised me smoothing. You promised me smoothing, Ratty. Don't be a cunt. Who the hell are you, Clank for Press? I've never seen your name. My brain is not ready for this, but it's nice to listen to. Well, welcome to the chat, Clank for Press. I'm always happy to see a new chatter. A turbo getting the courage to chat.
Connie's made it up to the higher platform. How will she get
I see, Ratty.
First,
So smoothing might not be a thing.
You probably already know about cloning objects, but do you know that you can clone their animations along with them?
That's crazy.
I'm sure you remember how to clone. But if not,
No.
just hold L1 and grab the ledge you animated with R2. Once you've made the clone,
Alright, now I do.
L1, then move the ledge to the other side and release R2 to place it.
Oh, they made it the same size. So I just have to...
Not only did you clone the ledge, but you also cloned its animation.
Where's the animator?
Click R3 to start time.
Shouldn't the button have appeared? Oh, the
You just need to flip it so that it moves in the correct direction.
Well, yeah, but they're all controlled by the same button.
Make sure you rewind time.
Alright, fine.
Grab the platform with R2.
Uh-huh.
Then click L3 to flip it horizontally.
Oh, you're flipping it like that. You're not actually flipping...
Depending on where you grabbed it, you might have to move it closer to the other platform after flipping.
Alright.
You may also need to realign it with triangle before releasing R2 to put it back down. Now click R3 to start time, and the platform should move in opposite directions.
I don't know if I can ride on this
Both
properly.
animations are stored in the same action recorder. So if you retake or delete the action recorder, it will affect both animations.
That's crazy.
Now go into play mode and see if Connie can make it across both gaps. Switch back to edit mode when you're ready to move on.
Woo! I kind of knew that was going to happen. I didn't think the physics would be that crazy. That's awesome. Oh, oops. I really launched her. This is quite the platformer. Oops. Oh no, I better I think that is a retake. Exit play mode, go into modes. Oh, okay, stop time. Smart thinking, yeah, I know. Animations being reworked. Yeah, like, oh man. I have the confidence that. How do you guys feel like Media Molecule talks? Like, what's their tone? Do they have the impression, or do you get the feeling, the vibe from them that this is a long term project, like something that'll be updated and will span past this generation, past all the way through the PS5's lifespan? I'm foreseeing some crazy amazing games created in this, and some shit that will actually end up, like, they talked about like wanting to be able to sell stuff eventually, like people to be able to sell their games in the PlayStation Store or whatever. It really needs support though from the creative people. Like, it needs to be like, people need to really embrace it. When Dreams first came out, I thought that I would see Dreams memes and Dreams, like, I thought it would flood the internet with stuff. Like, and it didn't really, I don't think it's caught on like wildfire. I don't know that people understand how fucking incredible this is yet. I've seen some like some video game blogs every so often do like an article or something like that show some really great games that were made. There's one game that I saw in a blog that I haven't checked out yet on this show, and I thought it would naturally just start, like, eventually bubble up to the top when we did some dream surfing. But what's that kaiju game? I might want to look at that at the end of today's show, because I thought it would show itself and we'd be able to react to it on the show for the first time, but it never came up.
Now let's get Connie to Cuthbert and get them through the door.
Ruckus?
Cuthbert has a total meltdown. I've placed a shiny helper cube. Let's call it Cuthbot. That holds up the next platform, but it's not very animated at the moment. To get it to walk back and forth towards the exit, we need to use record possession. It allows you to possess puppets and record a performance with them. Open the assembly menu, then go to the animate menu. Select record possession. It's the button with the sock puppet icon.
Okay.
Your imp can now possess the puppets in the scene. In the context menu, you'll see the count-in button. When this is selected, you'll get a 3-second count-in before recording starts. Press R2 over the Cuthbot to possess the puppet and start the countdown. When the count reaches 0, the possession recorder begins recording. Unlike the actual recorder, it records constantly. So time will be recorded even when the cube isn't moving. Walk the Cuthbot around the obstacles to the final platform. Pause for a moment, turn around, then walk back to where the Cuthbot started.
Why?
Starting and ending at the same place will help to make the animation loop smoothly. Press the circle button to depossess.
We'll just get it right the first time.
You'll notice that the recording pauses when you depossess. Select stop recording in the context.
If you don't return the puppet back to the exact spot, will it create, will it, like, when it loops,
and watch what you've recorded.
will it try to fix that? Like, join those two to make them move together a bit closer?
Edit the recorded possession. You may have noticed the possession recorder gadget has appeared next to the Cuthbot.
It'll just teleport every time, so there's no way to, like,
record possession.
sort of...
This gadget appears the moment you press the stop recording button.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, I need more chips.
To view the animation path. The possession recorder gadget also lets you edit and tweak the animation. Hold L1 and press X over the possession recorder to scope in and edit it. Just like the action recorder, you can choose to retape the animation by selecting the button in the context menu. To stop editing the possession recorder, select Stop Recording in the context menu, or hold L1 and press the circle button to quickly scope out. You can also tweak the possession recorder with L1 and the square button. It has exactly the same options as the action recorder. Experiment with the recorder and the different tweak options.
Springiness.
Remember, you can see more info about the tweak settings by hovering over them for a few seconds. Close the tweak menu by pressing L1 and the circle button anywhere over it. Once you're done editing, switch over to play mode to test out the completed scene.
I don't understand overshoot.
Then Connie can navigate to the last platform and help Cuthbert through the door to complete the tutorial.
Yeah, I'll put it on ping pong. That's a good idea because I didn't record a full loop, right? Good call. Yeah, I'm not sure what overshoot does. I need to see that on something else, I think. Okay. I'm not quite sure what keep changes means. When this is on, any changes made to an object by the animation, position, tweaks, and so on are permanent. Oh. When... Okay. Wow. So many fucking involved parameters and shit. Alright, what's next, my dude? Oh, is he just saying finish the level now? I'm done? Oh shoot, I made it so fast. This is only for pros. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Right? Fuck me. All right, that might be a retake. I don't know. Maybe I can do it. Oops. Maybe I can do it. It's just that the physics, it slips away before. Fuck. Almost. Yeah, it's too fast. Select, or wait, what, I need to select the recorder. So if you go here, group. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, this is not, I see, okay. I am nested in a way that I don't want to be right now. Where did my... I lost my little... I'm just going to undo. There it is. Select. Retake. Real gentle. Get on. Here we go, future Frash. There you go. You fucking cuck. Alright. I haven't used that much. Hey, what the hell? Somehow I disconnected this thing. It lost its animation. How did that happen? I wonder how I did that. Well, I can just animate this one then. But I don't know how I disconnected it. I thought it was supposed to be, well, I mean, I could either I'll just clone the other thing then. Delete this, stop, rewind, L1, R2, lamp, and then how do you flip it? Rotate, move, resize. How do you flip again? What was the button for that? R2 and L3. Okay. There it is. All right. There we go. Now I have to wait forever for that fucking animation to come back. I took too long on that. And I really hope I don't fuck this up if I want to finish this. If it fucks up, I'm just gonna build a bridge. Welcome to the club, Clank for Prez. Oh shit, I'm gonna miss my bus. I panicked there pretty hard. I almost fell off. There we go. Cuthbert's head keeps disappearing during these. The endings are kind of weird to these. I think I've been breaking a lot of them. It's because you're going into switch test mode and not going into play mode. Okay. How do you go into play mode? I didn't even know you could do it. Like, whatever. Well, I might have looked at everything I want to today. It was a pretty good stream. How long did we go? 2 hours, 40 minutes. I might just look at that kaiju game though. Where is that? What's it called again? Ruckus. It's called Ruckus, just another natural disaster. Yeah, I totally thought this would, I saw it like tweeted, somebody put out a GIF of it. And I was like, that was in Dreams? Holy shit, I can't wait to play that. And I thought it would automatically eventually come up. But it never did. Let's see how this is when you...
Breaking news. dispersed off the coast. Helicopters are rushing to the scene. What could the creature possibly want?
Look at how they animated this thing. It's so good. This is what I saw on like GIFs, and I was like, this guy looks amazing.
Just in. Politicians are wanting to take legal course to the creature. However, scientists are opposed. Authorities are requesting that all citizens evacuate the city.
He climbs things. Whoa, there's stuff in the volcano. Oh, I grabbed the tank.
Despite all attacks, the creature continues its rampage.
I love that it goes to these views, but I think they didn't intend for it to happen while I'm in here. Yeah. Is there any other buttons that I'm not knowing here? Jump, move, climb, vertical spin is L3. Charge laser, emote. L1 to emote. He's not really being very emoteful. I can't get him to emote. R1 does what? I haven't eaten anything yet. And I can sing?
News from the local police department. Citizens, please get off your cell phones and start recording the creature and evacuate now.
La la la. It's showing that there's a recording. Like, hello? What, how did, wait, I don't have a microphone. I guess the microphone is the PlayStation camera. I want to eat something.
efforts by the nuclear military, the creature continues to attack. A nuclear strike has just been called in.
A nuclear strike.
Impact is imminent.
Am I okay? I look like I'm okay. I wonder how they calculate the score, how score is tabulated, like what kind of mechanics they put in. Oh, aww. You, that was great. He waves. That's a good touch. I don't suppose that is remixable, eh? I would love to look at all the wires that went into that, like all the gizmos and shit that they had to use. Check out the genealogy. Let's see here. There's a bunch of versions and releases. Going way back. Similar creations. How do they determine similar creations? Genealogy. It's in a bunch of people's collections, but no remixes. You need to select the scene to see if it is remixable. Oh, okay. So... if I go into the... Yeah, I can't even find the scene, though. Yeah, so I guess nothing is remixable, because otherwise it would be in here, right? There would be scenes in here. Looks like the scene itself is private, yeah. I don't begrudge them for wanting to, like, not show the secret sauce. Like, I think it's really commendable when people make their stuff remixable and shared, but I also respect that some people want to make something unique and make people wonder how they did it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of, like, being a creator. I wouldn't want to show that, like, as a video editor, show my timeline for everything I create. This fucking game. Witchy Woods. I parked my car on the other side of the Witchy Woods. Just gotta make my way through the Witchy Woods here. So fucking good. So stupid. So do you find that you learn a lot from the Media Molecule streams? Are they very tutorial-ish, or do they assume everybody watching has been playing quite a bit of Dreams and knows what to do, or did they just kind of like... I could see trying to like catch one of their streams someday. Reds looks pretty happy up here, though. I'm surprised. I thought he was going to get a bunch of anxiety with Becky downstairs and me up here. Some have been tutorial-y. On the next show, maybe I'll play around with sculpting. Next time I do this. Streams earlier in the week focused on teaching, but most are about community creations, so they just look at everybody's creations. Do they go through and preview the community creations before their show, or do they have a list that they're going to cover? Do they actually go in fully blind? to make a collection of highlights. Yeah, there was some really cool stuff I saw in here when I was browsing around. I want to find this one thing. It had a little duck. And he had a little sword, and it looked so, like, the style was so good. Hat Kid. Somebody recreated Hat Kid. Dream Queen is the past collections. They really, this is quite faithful to the feel in my mind's eye. Nothing really happens here. Stand on a stool to use it. That was pretty good. Psyduck. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes. So I feel kind of bad that our channel contributes to the perception that this is what Dreams is, since this is what the type of highlight I always post is this ridiculous shit. And I'm sorry that it makes me giggle, but I love shit like this. Derpy ass shit. Terry's Big Adventure. I like the feel of this little guy. Too many things in Dreams are floaty. Like the character feels floaty. I like this guy's jumps. They're nice and tight. Need 10 to get in there. Oh, that's a satisfying sound. Touching all those. I got 10. Let me in. I should have just used the little box door on the bottom there. One. So these things that they're giving away, those little things like they did in Little Big Planet, this is a person's creation. It's not a media molecule thing. So what are those things being given away? Well, I wonder how you make platforms that can be jumped through from underneath but can't be. that you can't fall through but can be jumped through from underneath. I don't know. Mario 3 platforms. That was a big deal the day they invented those, or that those came out. I remember my parents buying Mario 3, picking us up from school and then showing it to us in the car, and we went fucking ape shit because it wasn't anybody's birthday, it wasn't anybody's Christmas. We just suddenly owned Mario 3 and I couldn't believe it. And my mom was saying, like, you can jump through platforms. She knew this somehow. And it was like a big feature. Knowing that you could jump through them from beneath was like, how? That's crazy. That's going to change the whole game. What the hell? How was I supposed to do that? What? Shit. Okay. Oh. Oops. Yeah, they were particularly into Mario at the... Oh, there's a glitch there. It registered spikes even though I wasn't touching them. They were into Mario because my dad hurt his back, and so he played a shit ton of it when he was, like, recovering on workman's comp. And I remember he got pretty good at Mario 1, but he still didn't beat it. I remember him getting really close to beating it, and we were so nervous watching him, and then he didn't. It ruined Christmas. The shadow on this little guy is great for where he's gonna land and stuff. It even projects on the wall sometimes. This is pretty laborious. And now I'm gone. I don't even want to do it anymore. That was a little bit too long. It was pretty solid up until that point. It just was a little too much to go through. But I'm interested in this guy's creations. What else has he done? Pixel Wars. Score attack game inspired by Space Invaders. With an emphasis on music beats? I feel like the way that it fires the bullets is like supposed to be to a rhythm. Like, where would you even begin with making something like that? My God. You know, I've said that I don't like instructions. That's true. I don't mind tutorials though when they're done right. Tutorials, especially that let you kind of fuck around with it as you do them. And I would like it. I would love it if Media Molecule made some tutorials that, like, from the ground up, stepped you through making this. Something like that, and then like just step by step showing you how it's done, and that way you just can get your head around how you organize. Where do you begin? Do you begin with the little animated ship? Do you begin with the physics of the world? Do you like the masterclass tutorials are nice. I think I'll just yeah, I think I might keep doing the tutorials. They're fun. They're good. They're a little bit slow, but they need to be, right? Because you don't want to ever leave somebody behind because they're not following. You know the type, the one that put their hand up for everything in the class. Fool ball. A medieval ball game where the gladiators hit the fool through the burning hoops. Alright, I want to see this. It can be multiplayer? What's the controls? Oh, there we go. Looks like the AI has gotten a bit fucked up there. How do you program AI to play like this? Like, shit. Fucking lions. Pretty good. With difficulty and many iterations. Like, where do you even begin? Like, in a game like that, you would tell like a thing, first of all, to walk towards an object, to make the AI want to go towards the fool. And then I guess you'd program a thing that when touching the fool, swing his sword. That's when he should swing his sword. And then maybe to make sure that he's always swinging from the right direction, you could like put in a condition that if on left of fool, I don't know how you would tell it that, if there was a way to tell it that if the fool is to one side of it, to get back to the other side of it, to start again, and then go on a loop. I would love to see the gears and the wires that go into making an AI character look like it really is a human opponent playing against you. At the very least, a derpy human opponent. It's a great little... I love that they made like a proper display for it, like, or I don't know, box art kind of. Alright guys. Wait, what's this? Rotate the block as far as possible in 5 seconds without tipping it over. What? Oh, I see. You want to, at the very 5th second mark, you want it to end before it hits. I want it to be. Wait, what? I was only able to get to 16.51 degrees. But yeah, it registers a loss a little bit too long. Or yeah, quickly. Ah, fuck. This is not something that is worth my time. All right, guys. I could sit around and derp around with this forever. I love it. It's so satisfying. It's so relaxing just to like check shit out. All right. Oh, that's a stretch. Holy fuck. Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time on the show. It's a cat napping, dream surfing day. Goodbye.